Hey, what's up? Welcome to DGen Ed. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts like the chart behind me, which is of Cronos Group, ticker symbol CRON. And so that was one of the tickers that was requested. So I'll be going over that as well as a few others. And I should note that I am recording this during market hours on Wednesday, April 3rd. So if you are catching this after the fact, all of these tickers are live. Everything's moving right now. I am primarily looking at the daily time frame because that is just the way that I tend to do my analysis. And so hopefully this offers some good insights for you. And I also do want to note that I always do a ticker request live on Sunday evenings, 9 p.m. Eastern. Always great to join for that. So make sure you do that. But yeah, I just thought I'd do kind of a one during the week, middle of the week, break up the week, and that's what we're going to do here. And and if you do enjoy this kind of content, make sure you like, subscribe, share your thoughts, whether in the live chat or in the comments down below. Happy to take requests there as well. As that is kind of what drives the channel, the requests that I get from you guys. Happy to follow up on those. And so, yeah, let me know what you think. But here, yep. So I'm just going to start with Cronos Group, ticker symbol CRON. And here, looking at the chart, we are up about 4% on the day so far, right around $2.76, being up in this region above $2.57, which is a level that I marked based on some pivot highs in the past, I believe, actually some pivot lows. This had acted as support over here, then resistance, resistance again. And so I do suspect that will act as support moving forward. But, one thing that stands out to me as far as basically any of the cannabis sector stocks is they have run up a bunch. And so looking at Cronos Group going from the low down here at $1.89 up to the top at $2.77, that represents a 47% move to the upside. And so I do feel like it is a little precarious that there could be a pullback with some of these. But this one, actually, there aren't large wicks to the upside, so this could very well be some bullish consolidation before another move to the upside. And so kind of to get an idea on where price might be going, I'm just going to do a little Fibonacci retracement here. Let's see, try to get that exactly right. And yeah, okay, so from that, $2.57, that level that I have marked, does correspond with the 236 at $2.56.2. So, I do think that price could be returning to that. It does look like we got a wick down to that level on April 1st, getting down to $2.57. And so, yeah, I think it is going to be pretty important, though, that we do break and get a close above 277. The high so far today is 277. Does seem like that is notable resistance. And I think that, if we're not able to get a close above 277, even if we get a wick above, if we don't get a close above that, that suggests there are sellers up there, and that could be a local top before pulling back to some of these levels to the downside. And another way we can get an idea of where price might be going is if I do a retracement from here down to the bottom and look at the extensions from this retracement. I'm going to add the 2618 to that, and that goes, let's see, up to about $3. That actually makes a lot of sense, just being like a psychological level. So, I feel like as far as the price goes, I'm actually just going to, let's see, I'll just leave all of the levels up there. It will get cluttered, or it will, adjust, affect future retracements. So I'm just going to leave it with all of those. And so basically I see like the next level up, $3, just being a psychological level, also being pretty close to this 2618 extension. I suspect we'll bump into some resistance there, maybe pull back to 277, acting as support at that point. But if we can't get closes above 277, I could see price pulling back to, let's see, I feel like the 50% retracement actually makes a lot of sense because it does correspond with the high that we had on February 28th. That was, let's see, $2.32, corresponding with the 50% level at 233. So if we do break below 257, 256, or really just like 250, if we start to break below that, it's quite possible we could stop at the 382 at $2.43. But I think there's going to be not only this key level of 50% retracement, but that does correspond with this resistance here, this pivot high, that will be acting as support moving forward. So I could see 232 as potentially a really good dip buying opportunity if we do pull back. But then, of course, price could go lower, but I feel like at least with price being much higher than that right now, I think that 232 could be a nice dip level. Or, one other thing that we could do before I move on to the next ticker, connect these highs here. That does correspond with the wick, the peak here, and maybe price will be pulling back to this uptrend. So I'm just going to make this a different color, make it a little bit thicker as well, and so let's make that red. And so maybe price would be pulling back to that. And so I did get that line just from the two pivot highs from December 5th as well as January 9th. So that's something that you could draw on your own charts if you did want to keep an eye on that if we do start to break below these levels. But I really don't see too big of wicks at the top. Doesn't really suggest we are putting in a topping signal, but not being able to get closes above 277, that so far acting as highs for 2 days does seem like that could be a top. But yeah, I do see it. Sorry, I guess there was two people that were here, but I guess just one now. If you do have a request, happy to take them. I'm just trying to go over these stocks that were requested before. And so with Cronos Group, the next one on the list is HITI, which is another cannabis stock. But if you guys do have any requests, let me know in the live chat. Happy to go over whatever ticker you like. But yeah, I will switch over to HITI, which I guess I haven't done too much analysis on this. I did do a video on a number of cannabis stocks a while ago, and HITI, ticker symbol HITI, was in that list, but I just didn't do a follow-up. And so what we see here is just, a big run-up. Let's get a measurement of that from the low here at right around $1.57.5 up to the high of 260. That represents about a 65% swing. Pretty big move there. So I could definitely see a pullback, just especially with this big wick up. But, being up on the day over 12% so far, right around $2.50. This move may not be over yet. Whenever there are big green candles, just like here, that could suggest, continuation. But if we do end up with a big wick by the end of today, a big wick up, and that does suggest that there are sellers up here. It's not able to hold that momentum. And also, while the day is not over yet, if we do see decreasing volume, that could definitely be a sign that the top could be in. When you have volume increasing as price is increasing, that suggests a continuation. But if you do see volume start to decrease, that does suggest a pullback. Over here, you saw that a little bit, but then started to pick up. And yeah, so I'm pretty much just going to do what I did with Cronos Group, do a Fibonacci retracement here from, let's see, 157.5 up to the high of 260. And so from that, I think it'd be good to see a close today above 235.8. That's the 236 level here. Currently trading above that at around 245. But, it does seem like that will be a pretty important level to hold. And one thing that does stand out to me is that we do have a lot of trading action here. Three, actually, not even really two wicks overlapping at one point. Yeah, because at any point here, there's no overlap of these three wicks. So it does seem like this is kind of an interesting area. Maybe we'd be returning to that. So I could see price returning to the 382 at around $2.21. That could definitely happen. And with that, it does seem like, we have this big green candle here, this wick up. There could be a lot of support there. If I do throw up the volume profile, we do see a little bit of a volume shelf there. So if price is not able to hold above 236, I definitely could see it coming down to 221. And let's see. And actually, the 618 level does stand out to me, also kind of corresponding with this volume shelf here, a little bit more pronounced than the one over here. That is at a price right around $2, that being a psychological level. Also, I do have these yellow and red lines that did stand out as being these wick highs over here. And so I could definitely see price returning to right around $2 a share, finding support there before maybe making another attempt to get above 260. But this could, of course, just be consolidating around where it's at before continuing higher. And let's see. If we do look, one thing that we might want to be paying attention to, I'll make sure Ed's head's not in the way, is that looking over here, we have this higher high in the stock price that we formed. But looking at the RSI here, this doesn't match up exactly with the peaks, but here on September 14th, we did have a high, and the RSI was 80.43. And now it is currently 77.54, but we have a higher high than the one we hit here. And so that could suggest bearish divergence, although if price does continue higher, that would push the RSI higher. So really we need to see kind of like a downtick or a turnaround in the RSI for that to suggest that this is bearish divergence and then price could be topping, especially because we do see this, higher high here with a lower high here. And so if we are going off of this high, currently RSI is above the high in the RSI then, which was 72.20. And so that is not bearish divergence. But really just looking at this peak where the RSI was, just kind of looking at like the maximums in the RSIs, that does correspond with a lower high in the stock price. And so that could be suggesting bearish divergence. And just really, I guess like kind of my stance on these cannabis stocks is just that they have run up a lot. And so I do think that there will probably be a cool off. I guess we did see that though, right around $2. We did get rejected from this like 50% level. You couldn't have drawn this retracement up at that point. But we did get, some consolidation here. So maybe we start to see some more consolidation right around 235, 236 before the next leg up, just like we saw here. But I do think that we could be pulling back to 221, where this area is where we've got all of these wicks, or potentially the 618 at right around $2 a share. So that's what I would be looking for. I'd be looking for a cool off, whether that's, to take profits, trim up here, or just, put on the brakes as far as buying goes, wait to buy the dips down here. I think current price, whether it's going to continue going up or if there's going to be a pullback, I think that this is either a good time to hold, a good time to trim, and down here would be a good time to add. But, those are just my thoughts. So, take them as you will. And I do see that there are a couple people here in the watching live. So if you do have any requests, happy to go over them. Just going over a few tickers that were requested. And then I also did want to go over Rumble because I just find that chart to be really interesting. I think that will be going up to $12 a share, if not higher. So I did want to go over that. But before I get onto that, I will go over Semtech, ticker symbol SMTC. This was requested. I believe I think I saw this after the last live stream that I did, and I just drew this Fibonacci retracement just to kind of get an idea what's going on. Let's see, I did not lock that in place, so I'm just going to adjust the levels so it's spot on. Let's see, 84 was the high there, and 1313 was the low over there, so just locking that in place so we get these levels exactly. And yeah, one thing that I guess stands out to me, we are up almost 8% on the day so far, trading around $30.38, being up about $2 on the day. And so this could definitely be making another attempt at $3.84. What I would look for is a close above that level. I do suspect that even if we get a wick higher than that, we will pull back, get a close below. If we don't see that, though, that would suggest strength, that this is going higher, but really that level, $30.84, is kind of like the cap right now. And if we can't get a close above it, that suggests that there are sellers up there, more sellers than there are buyers, and price likely won't be going much higher, at least not before we do get a retracement or some consolidation, bullish consolidation. And, actually, we might have actually just seen that, with yesterday's trading on the second, a little bit of a pullback, now getting a bullish engulfing candle. So that could suggest a lot of strength. And that's actually not only engulfing yesterday's candle, but also the candle from Monday, April 1st. So if we do get a close above, let's see, Monday's close, which was $29.37. If we get a close above 30, that could suggest a lot of strength. Although, this $30.84 would still be kind of like a level we need to get above. But with that being said, could be bullish consolidation. But one thing that does stand out to me, just highlighted by this retracement, is the 382, because we do have, this wick high going just above that, pulling back, and the 382 is at a price of $24.07, right around $24. I could see price pulling back to that level, or perhaps just like $25. Maybe it wicks down below 24.07, but gets closes above 25. I could see that as a level that will be revisited. 50% retracement is right around $22 here at $21.99. Possible price could be returning there, although it does seem like we've got a lot of this, consolidation in that range. So I do think that there could be some support there. Definitely a lot of support found between $22 and $24. We've got these tops here around $22.70, really kind of right in the middle of that range. And so I do think support would be found there if we do pull back. And looking at the chart, I don't necessarily see any patterns, but maybe if I do a ray here from the low here to so this, I'm going to just make this, so I'll make it red, or maybe I'll make it yellow. What's a good color? Stands out. I think that's nice. Yeah, so from here, it does look like we've got some support over here. This is based on approximately the lows hit on May 4th. Consolidation there, uptrending, then goes up here. Did get really just kind of this breakdown below that level, this gap just below it. Testing that, kind of a fake out here, but no confirmation. You got a close above that level, but then the following day got a close below, could not confirm that breakout. Another test over here, approximate test here, another one here with a wick above, and that corresponding with like the 382 right around $24. And so I could see, if price may not return to the 382, it might just pull back to this yellow uptrend. I did draw this approximately, but price could then be, returning to right around $25. And that is like a psychological level. $25, we think in, quarter of 100. So I could see price pulling back to that. It does look like earnings just happened and price, moved up a good amount following that. And let's see. We do have, unfortunately, this one is much clearer than what we saw in HITI. But what we see here on December 14th, we did get a peak in the stock price right over here, December 14th and 15th. A little bit of a peak there. Got a peak in the RSI at 80.39. If we look now at the current price, we definitely have a higher high. But if we look at the RSI, compared to the peak here, 80.39, we have a peak here at 77.20. That is a lower high in the RSI, with that being paired with a higher high in the stock price that is bearish divergence. That could be suggesting that the top is in here. And so I could definitely see a cool off in the RSI, cool off in the price. Returning to that previous high would be right around $23. So possible, this yellow line is not significant support. Possible we do break below the 382, and I could see finding support really, back to these levels here around $23. Just needing to cool off the price, cool off the RSI, and then I do think price could be moving higher. But yeah, this prior to earnings and, after earnings, just in this, over the past, let's see, how many days is that? 2 weeks, 3 weeks, really, I guess. Well, I guess 2 weeks, 9 bars. We do see here that represents a over 40% swing right there, so that's pretty good. Might need to cool off. So yeah, I mean, I do find this to be an interesting chart. So thank you for the request, and hopefully that was helpful for you in navigating your position. But yeah, I do feel like the bearish divergence, and if we can't get a close above 30.84, does seem to me like this could be pulling back. So do keep that in mind. But, it could also continue, as this does look like a bullish engulfing candle, engulfing the past 2 trading days. So looking strong there, other than this, bearish divergence. So, yeah, hopefully that's helpful. But yeah, now I don't see anybody here. Nobody requested anything. But I will go over Rumble because I am really excited by that chart. Hey, I do see that somebody just joined. It looks like if you do have a request, happy to take your request. I was just going to go over Rumble because I like the stock, I like the chart, and yeah, but I've also gone over Rumble before. My position on it has really not changed, and I think that this is kind of just like the boring time with Rumble before a big move up. So I think it's a good time to accumulate. But yeah, if you do have requests, I'll wait for that. Otherwise, I'll just dive right into Rumble. I might take a step back here before I get into the chart. Let's see. Yeah, okay. And so I might do like my little intro for this one. I'm really excited about this chart. I'll probably do clips of all of these tickers that I did that I've covered so far. But yeah. So hey, what's up? Welcome to DGen Ed. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts, like the chart behind me, which is of Rumble, ticker symbol RUM. And so here I am recording this on the morning of Wednesday, April 3rd during market hours, and current price is just above $7 a share, being down nearly 4% so far on the day. And so I am really excited about Rumble. I've covered it a few times on the channel. Although, I don't think price action right now is necessarily that exciting, I do think it is a really good time to be accumulating based on analysis that I've done on Aquestive in the past, identifying an inverse head and shoulders. Took about a couple months before a breakout to happen, and then it went up, did a measured move as I expected, actually went a lot higher than that measured move. And so I think that's what will be happening with Rumble. But, as you do see, I have this purple line here that is the approximate neckline, which I will go over in a second. But I did want to go over levels that price might be returning to. And as you can see, we did hit this high on March 13th, hitting a high of $9.20, attempted to get back to that level on March 26th, but couldn't get there, hitting a high of $9.09, putting in a double top here. Right around $9 a share. And so we have retraced quite a bit from that high of $9.20. So this retracement is based on the low, $6.22 hit on March 28th, going up to the high there from from February 28th, hitting a high, going up to the high on March 13th. And so from that retracement, we are hovering just above the 786, which is at a price of $6.86. I view that as a really good dip buying opportunity. I have put out a video on Rumble talking about a $7 sale. We are now experiencing that $7 sale. If it does dip to $6.86 or lower, as long as we get closes above $6.86, that could be suggesting to me that it has found a bottom, and then it could be going a lot higher. And so that is what I am expecting. And so I have just been accumulating shares as it's been coming down. And if it does hit 686, I do think that will be a great, great opportunity to pick up shares. Just like we had this consolidation here below $7 a share, I think that dipping below 7, getting to 686, I think that could be a great dip buying opportunity. If it does, though, break below 622, as that was the low on February 28th, that could be suggesting that price will be going much lower, getting a lower close or getting a lower low. That could be bad, but right now we are not there. So I do think this is good dip buying opportunities, as I do see that there is this inverse head and shoulders pattern here with the left shoulder right here, kind of an ugly head, kind of a spiky head here. And then the right shoulder formed over here, which you could also view as a cup with a handle here, or potentially that we're getting kind of, this is probably more like a breakdown of that handle, with it being lower than this. But, as long as we're not getting lower than 622, like I said, I do think this is great dip buying opportunity. We did get a couple attempts at, breaking above that neckline, that purple line here, but we could not confirm the breakout. And so that would be like here on the 13th, we got a close above that purple line, but we could not close above it a second day. And so that did not confirm the breakout. We got rejected there with this bearish engulfing candle on March 14th. And then here, looking on March 26th, we did get a close above, but we did not get confirmation. The following day, we did get a second close above, but we could not close above that high, which was, let's see, at a price of $9.09. So we did not confirm that breakout. That was a little bit of a fake out. We pulled back in, closing right around the 382 here at $8.06. So actually closing just above that at, let's see, $8.08. And so that was not a confirmation. We did not get a confirmation of a breakout, even though we got two closes above the purple line. We needed to get a close above $9.09. We didn't see that. And so now I think it's just dip buying opportunities for this inverse head and shoulders pattern to play out. And so I see, if I take the measurement from here to the neckline, that's about $4. Or if I take it down to, right around here, that's around $5. And so if I take that, move it to, wherever we break that neckline, that would suggest price is going up to around $12 to $13, maybe a little bit higher. And so I just feel like what happened with Aquestive, it took about 2 months after it tested the neckline. It took about 2 months before it broke out. And so we take a measurement from here when we first got this initial fake out breakout. Let's see. This could be bringing us out to, let's see, 50 days. Let's see, 60 days. I'll do 58, let's say, right around there. That would be bringing us to May 10th, so about a month from now. One more month could be some really good dip buying opportunities here before we do get that neckline, but it is also possible I'm wrong about this and we don't get a play out of the inverse head and shoulders pattern with the measured move, bringing us up to $12, $13. But, this is something I had conviction in before, but I didn't put my money on it, or I didn't stick with it for the 2 months. Now, I feel like this is my opportunity to, redeem myself in, following through with this, beautiful pattern that I see here. I think it's going to play out. People have talked about Rumble going to $10 a share. Just that seems like kind of arbitrary to me. Like they need to get to $10 a share so they can raise some capital, as far as I understand. But that doesn't. There's nothing technical about that. There is something technical about $12 a share, or potentially higher, potentially $13 a share. I just don't know that this blip down here would really, count as the crown of the head. I guess it's more of like a hat for the inverse head and shoulders. But yeah, I think that this looks like a beautiful chart, and I'm really excited by it. And let's see. But yeah, we did, I guess, one thing that does stand out, we do, if I have my bias here, I think this is going higher. But looking at the chart, looking at the RSI, we did get a higher high here. In the RSI, we got a lower high. And also, here, so from here to here, higher high in price, corresponding RSI. We did get a lower high, that's bearish divergence. We did get a pullback, got another attempt up there, but then this is a lower high, and we actually see a lower high in the RSI. So there's no divergence there anymore, but we are seeing this pullback. And let's see, currently, we have a higher low here so far, and right now with the RSI, we actually have a lower low. And so now, while we did have bearish divergence here, we're starting to get bullish divergence here. As long as price does not go below 622, that would be bearish on many levels, getting a lower low, and then also that coinciding with a loss of this bullish divergence. So as long as we hold above 622, I think this is going to $12, if not higher. But that might take a couple months to play out. And, so I am choosing to have conviction in this, and this is kind of like the trade that I'm focusing on. And so I'm really excited about that. But yeah, you're gonna have to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, or in the live chat if you guys have any ticker requests. I have gone over now all of the tickers that either were requested or that I requested. I wanted to go over Rumble. So yeah, let me know. Or if you just want to watch me ramble about charts on the daily time frame, I could look at them on the shorter time frame. But my analysis, I guess, my approach to trading is kind of not necessarily long term, but thinking about weeks. So I like to look at the daily candles. But yeah, if you have any requests, let me know in the live chat. And if I don't get any requests, I might throw up DOGE, because I'm really excited about DOGE. Like, I feel like for me right now, my highest conviction play is probably just for like Rumble for the next few months, Dogecoin for the year. I'm really excited about this just because we haven't hit all-time highs, whereas Bitcoin has. And, I think, from this price, if it does go up to $1 a share, that's a 5x. Most of the trades that I do talk about, it's like a 50% swing is a pretty big one. And this 5x, so I feel like I should just focus my energy on, the few trades that I think will have good returns, or the ones that I have a lot of conviction in the patterns, like Rumble. And so Dogecoin is, one that I think it's definitely going to be returning to at least its previous highs of 74 cents. And I think that it could definitely be returning to, or getting to $1 a coin, perhaps by the end of the year. Yeah, and so I view this as, let's see, this is a weekly time frame, looking at there. So from this retracement, I could actually probably, what is the low here, to get a higher low here. And so let's see. Yeah, so this is actually a bullish divergence, because we had the low here at 12.208 cents. The low here was 12.286 cents, so a little bit higher, but we saw the RSI going much lower. And so with that being said, this is bullish divergence, and we saw a move to the upside. I had put out a video saying 13 going on 30. And but then right around, getting up to around 17 cents, I saw these wicks up. And I started to think, well, maybe it's going to get rejected at the 618. That did not happen, continued higher, actually eclipsing these previous highs of 20.695 cents. Consolidating here, what looked like bullish consolidation, but then we got this breakdown. Same with Bitcoin, same with like all of crypto. And let's see, from these highs, we actually, see a higher high here. This is bearish divergence, going from there to there, higher high, and then from that point, here, this is, lower high. It's bearish divergence, so not too surprising to see this break down. Where could I see this bottoming? Let's see. I guess we'd probably want to look for bullish divergence again. Right now, we are seeing a higher low in the price as well as a higher low in the RSI. But if the RSI were to return to like 43, 47 or lower, and price still above, let's see, 12.286 cents, then that would be bullish divergence, and price could be turning around then. But I think that price could be turning around before then. I mean, it's probably going to have a fair amount of support around, the 618 level. But, one thing I might want to do is, there's probably just going to be a lot of overlap between these. But let's see. From that, I'll make this yellow so it's a little bit easier to see. And yeah, like a 17.5 cents right around there could be finding support there. The 618 here coincides with the 50% retracement. And then, just getting into some different levels over there. And so what I might do is adjust these so we don't have so much overlap. And so let's see, the 786, I don't need that. I don't need the 618 or the 50%. And then so now we've got kind of like unique levels there. But yeah, and then I'll probably lock this in place. So that's a nice resource for finding the bottom. But yeah, I'm excited about Doge. And then maybe, I'll go over Hycroft mining. That's been going pretty crazy. Nobody's requesting it or anything. I've done some videos on Hycroft mining. It's never that popular. This, to be honest, I'm not too surprised by this. Everybody's freaking out, going on about, oh, Hycroft mining's ripping, all this stuff. Whenever there's a consensus of this is going to the moon, that's probably a top. When everybody's calling for it, when it's getting to not all-time highs, but after a big run. So here, this is on the daily time frame, going from approximate low there to yesterday's high. That's up 64%. But let's look at this on the hourly time frame. Hit a high of $4. For me, I've been finding that, like, with doing this channel, I get really interested in a number of stocks, but I don't have enough money to be establishing big positions with them. I had a small position in Hycroft, just 2 shares, so pretty pathetic. And I'm just spreading myself too thin, having too much exposure of different stocks, but in not notably large positions or anything where I can make a lot of money. And I just saw, oh well, it's closed around 350. That I'm like 60% up. I'm just gonna offload both of the shares, make a couple bucks. That's great. Yeah, but then I was thinking, well, maybe I should have just set the limit to $4 a share. That would have been filled. But I didn't do that. Trimmed at 350 because I saw that, really just kind of, everybody's talking about, oh, this is going higher, this is going higher. We see this small wick down here that suggests to me it will continue. See a bigger wick here that suggests to me that, maybe price is not going to be going higher or turning around, seeing a high today so far, $3.63. So I think that the top could be in and that we might be pulling back. And so I could see it coming down to like $2.50 a share, finding support based on these highs. So, people aren't going to like that. This, if I do a clip of this, people aren't going to watch it. And with that being said, that's why I don't really cover Hycroft that often. Or, we could be getting a pullback actually, kind of with this change between these 2 days. I could see a pullback to like 275. And that seems like a good level to be picking some shares up at, because we do have, these wicks up here, wicks here, overlap there. There is going to be a little bit, of a volume shelf there. So price could be pulling back to that level. And that could be a really nice time to be adding. And so, I was kind of looking, since I did just trim at 350, if it does pull back, maybe it doesn't, maybe I'm wrong. What's a good level to then reestablish that position? And so I see 275 as being that level. And if it does break lower, I've got this retracement here, 245 or really 250, the peak around here. So I feel like it's probably going to be pulling back. We're seeing that now. If we can get a close above yesterday's high, that would suggest continuation. Maybe we're just seeing a fake out pullback right now in the morning, and then it will continue higher in the afternoon. But the high yesterday being $3.49, right around $3.50, just being like psychological. $3, 2 quarters. If we can't get a close above that, that's suggesting that, there are no buyers up here. Not enough buyers. I'm sure there are buyers up here, but just not enough. And so I do think that 275 will be a great dip buying opportunity, or, re-entry level. And let's see. And actually, from this run up, I'll just do quick Fibonacci retracement here, just being kind of approximate. We got to add these levels back in. Let's see. Is there one? Yeah, so we got the 50% retracement at 287, right around there, and the 618 around 269. So that area right around 275. Also do have a nice little, volume shelf there, which I mentioned before. I think that could be, where price is returning to. So I am not FOMOing in here. I'm not trying to buy the top or maybe an intermediate level before it does continue higher. Who knows? I just think that it needs to cool off a little bit. Having run up, I feel like I did this already. 73% to the high so far today. Yeah, I think 275 will be a good time to reestablish a position. So, hopefully, my thoughts were helpful. If you did find them helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks a lot for watching. And yeah, so I'll probably do a clip of that. I'll also probably do clips of Cronos, High Tide. Actually, maybe I won't do clips of those, and I just need to do another follow-up. I think that those will get views, so I should do videos on those. So Cronos, High Tide, Rumble, Semtech. I don't know. I didn't even know about that stock before somebody requested it, but maybe I'll do a clip of that, Rumble, and Hycroft. Yeah, I just won't do DOGE. But yeah, I'll do clips of all the ones over there. And yeah, if I'm not getting any comments, or any requests from the live chat, I will probably close this down. Been doing it for about 40 minutes, so it's not that long of a stream. But I didn't really expect to do too long of a stream. I was just kind of wanting to do this to record these tickers, and then I can edit them and release them for as videos later. And so I'll probably do that. It's just an easier way for me to put out videos, to put out content. But yeah, so I think I will be signing off for the lone person watching. Thank you for watching. If you do have any comments, let me know in the live chat before I do close this down. But of course, make sure you like the stream, like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and subscribe to the channel for more streams and content like this, doing at least one live stream a week, always Sundays at 9 p.m. Eastern. I will start to do probably one evening live stream during the week, maybe one live stream during trading hours. However, I just don't think that these tend to be that popular because people are at work, But yeah, I will be doing one on Sunday next week, and then I'll probably do another one maybe, let's see, what's my work schedule like? Maybe Wednesday evening next week. Yeah, so then people can hang out during the week if they can't do it on Sunday. But yeah, thank you so much for hanging out, for watching, and I will be posting some clips from this in a little bit. But yeah, I hope the rest of your trading day, hump day, goes well for you, and I will be in touch via